Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our live. My name is Nicole Donegan. I am the WOB's Chief Operating Officer and a Director, and with me today is Claire Braund, our Executive Director and Co-founder of Women on Boards. Good morning, Claire.
Morning, Nicole.
Now, this is our first live stream that we have done, so you may need to bear with us if we have any glitches. So we're trying this new technology. We always embrace technology at Women on Boards, and this is a new one that we are embracing. So hopefully it will all go to plan. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about the survey results that we've recently had. We conducted a survey last week, probably actually 10 days ago now, on the different ways that women approach their career. And having established WOB almost 20 years ago, we've seen women from all walks of life and all different parts of their career. And we've noticed that people succeed due to various techniques and ways that they approach their career. So we're actually delving into doing some work around understanding this better to help us with the training and guidance that we provide women on their career. Now, Claire, did you have anything you wanted to add to that as one of the key facilitators of our program for women to guide them?
It's been really interesting, actually, because Women on Boards, of course, started back in 2006, and it started as a program and really around boards. But as we know, the on-ramp for boards, particularly the on-ramp for ASX boards or boards at that level, is quite often those really senior leadership roles. So around, it was probably about 2009, we started to think about how we could help women through their career. So we inaugurated our first career program, which was called the Next Generation of Female Leaders. And it ran for 10 years. In fact, we stopped running it just before COVID. Who knew? We got a bit lucky there. And after that, we then, during COVID, started to think about how people obviously still needed that support, but how we were going to do that in the virtual learning space. Yes. So we inaugurated something called Women in Leadership, and that has become the foundation of our personal career management program. So we've had quite a lot of iterations of programs that think about how women can move through their career in a purposeful and strategic way, and where they're going to wind up at the end of their career. Because getting a board isn't just a kind of like, oh, well, I've suddenly left my career and now I'm going to go off and I'm going to get on a board role and I'm going to knock on a few doors and people are going to knock on my door and I'll get a board role. It doesn't work like that. So you have to start to plan early.
It does. It's almost like an apprenticeship, I like to say, because it's something you haven't done before. And we often find that women have been sort of at the top of their tree, very successful in their professional roles, and then coming into board roles, it's really starting again at the bottom to build their way up onto that ramp that Claire talked about. So the survey that we conducted, we put together, it was a short survey. We like to keep our surveys short and brief. It had 6 questions, and we shared it with the WOB community, where we have almost 20,000 members and subscribers. So if you're not part of the community, please do join us. If you go onto our website, you can join as a free member. Just go become a subscriber and you'll receive some information, or alternatively become part of the full community and become a paid member, but we'll provide further information about that later. So we shared it with the community, and we also put it on social media because we welcomed the feedback from non-members as well, because we wanted a really broad spectrum of information on this topic. So Claire, what were the key findings from the survey?
Women with a career plan are more likely to understand and to be able to succinctly articulate their value proposition in the workplace. It was a clear takeaway from the 185 respondents, of which 183 were women, that those with a plan are far more likely to succeed in their career. Yes. They're more certain about their skills, they're more certain about their experiences, even their attributes. And I'll talk about this later, although the last one, the attributes, proved more difficult for everyone. They can identify their career accomplishments quite easily, and most importantly, they're more assured in speaking to their value proposition, because knowing who you are, what you're seeking from your career, and where you want to be in 5, 10, 15, 20 years' time correlates really strongly with career satisfaction and career success. I often tell women it's much easier to achieve a management, a leadership, or a board role if you're very sure about the value that you bring. In other words, you need to know who you are before you try and convince someone else to take you on.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. And it's probably something that a lot of us women fall short in, actually taking that time to spend on ourselves, developing something for ourselves. I mean, we all know in business that you need a plan to follow, and those businesses that don't plan generally don't succeed. And having a plan that you can follow is key. And really in life and careers, it's the same sort of thing, and boards. So why do you think they found it difficult to identify their attributes, Claire?
Most people can identify and articulate what their experience is because that's a set series of things that you've done. Fewer find it hard to identify skills. Most find it easy to identify technical skills, but transferable skills, those that you can take to any job or to any role, are harder. But attributes prove really hard. And that's because they're personal. They are the personal
True.
qualities or characteristics that reflect your identity. And examples would include honesty, dependability, having a good sense of humor, or being a really dependable person. And personal qualities are important for teamwork, group dynamics, building relationships, and any of those day-to-day interactions with colleagues, managers, clients, fellow board members, the chair. So in many ways, they're intangible, and that's why they're really hard for people to write down. In your CV, it's often better to articulate your attributes by showing how you do something, e.g., how you approach the decision making or handle a difficult situation, rather than just making bald statements like, I'm a really good communicator. You need to show how you do that. So there's those who find it hard to go beyond understanding their experience and skill, are also often less able to think in a non-linear way about their career, and could possibly struggle with articulating their value proposition for either leadership or board roles.
And do you think that is because women tend to underrate themselves too? I mean, we often see women when they do introductions in some of our workshops, they say, I just. And do you think that without that time to self-analyze, they fall into that underrating of themselves and not
I think
realizing that they're
I
capable?
take a slightly different view. I think we operate in a system that has been designed by men for men. I'm on the Catherine Fox page on this one. So when you operate on a system that's been designed by men for men, what they don't do is accommodate the different ways that people interview and the different skills that they
Yes.
bring. So if you talk to someone who hires a lot of people, they will often tell you to fire fast and hire slowly. Because if you hire slowly and you go slowly, and you interview people multiple times, quite often those people that came out and said, I'm really good at this and I've built this business and, I do a huge turnover, suddenly their star will start to fall, because when you start to probe and you start to say, well, how did you do that? What did you do with that? But when you just take a surface view and women come and they go, well, I was just such and such, it just might be that they're a humble person. Now, it doesn't help them in the interview process, but I don't want to criticize people who do take a humble approach to their life and say, well, I'm not here to big note myself. Sadly, in our business environment, the winners usually are those who do big note themselves. So striking a balance between being confident, assured, knowing what you've bought, knowing what you bring, trying to get rid of some of those qualifiers like I should, I might, I think I know about this. You either do or you don't know about something. But all of that comes back to really knowing who you are and understanding what your value proposition is.
True. Yeah. And how many women did we find had a career plan from that survey?
Interestingly, not many. Just 21 respondents said they had a very clear path that they followed. And they're a relatively confident group of women, aged primarily 45 plus. So the confidence grows as the age grows. And they reported a 95% alignment of their career with their purpose and their values.
Okay. And why is it important to understand your purpose and values in your career?
Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Why do you want to take this job on? So many people who come to us, particularly through our personal career management program, say, I finally understood why I haven't been happy in this industry, sector, job. And it's because their values are here, their personal values, the things that they hold dear, the things that drive them, the things that get them up in the morning, are not mirrored in their workplace. Now, you're not going to expect 100% alignment, but if you're completely out of alignment, it's going to be really difficult to be getting up every day and doing a good job for the organization. And you need to know why you're doing something. What's your purpose? If you want to go and serve on boards, why? Why do you want to do that? You need to have a very clear purpose as an understanding of that, and nailing that. It sounds deceptively simple, but it's a really, really hard thing to do, and it requires lots of thinking and going through some tools and really thinking strategically about why you are doing something. So knowing your purpose and values, I think, is a really, really important thing. It's like your kind of a lodestar. It's your guiding light. In fact, we've had somebody on our personal career management program who said to us, and she said, I was offered this amazing job and it was going to be fantastic and I thought I would take it. And then I looked at my plan on a page and went, this is not for me, because this is not where my values and purpose are. This is not lining up with what I really want it to be. So you have to step back and think about those.
So for all of those who have not been taking a strategic approach, is it too late? I mean, can you start at any time?
It's never, ever too late to start. And frankly, it's a rare person who's planned their career since university. And over planning and being unwilling to accommodate some flexibility into your plan can also result in lost opportunities. So it's about balance. It's about being strategic enough about yourself so you've got a framework and a structure and some principles that you'll not step back from, but being flexible enough to adapt and change. But there is truth in the old adage, failing to plan is planning to fail. And we know this in the context of much of our lives. And yet quite often applying it to ourselves can be really, really difficult. So I just say it's never too late to start. You've always got, first, second, third career. There's encore careers, portfolio careers. Really start to think about now what you want for the rest of your career and how you're going to make a contribution.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you've got lots of whistling in your...
Someone's testing a smoke alarm. Apologies. So you talked about the plan on a page in the PCM program. Can you tell us about that?
The plan on a page is a really deceptively simple tool, but incredibly powerful. It's something that our chair, Sheena Wilson, has brought to WOB, and she's used throughout her really extensive and very senior executive HR career to support and help people to plan their careers and to know what the next steps are going to be. So when you go into those conversations with your line managers or with your chair or just with a boss of a particular division, going to them and saying, well, I've done this and I'd really like to do something else. This person who's genuinely there and to help you goes, great. So what would you like to do? And you go, well, I'm not sure. That's why I've come and asked you. No. That is not the answer. What you need to be doing is you need to be saying, I've thought through it. I've planned out what I'm doing, and this is where I can see myself going. These are the steps that I need to get there. These are the people I need on the journey to help me, and you're one of those people. And if you do that, if you make it easy for people, then it's so much easier for them to help you.
So this program, we have one starting soon, don't we?
We do. We've got our 2025 cohort kicks off in March. We've got the 2-day face-to-face in Melbourne this year, which we're particularly looking forward to, and virtual sessions around that as well. So if anyone's interested, we're really happy to those who have been part of this LinkedIn Live to have a conversation with you. We could even possibly look at extending the early bird for those who have just heard about this. So please get in touch, and I'm always happy to have a one-to-one conversation about your personal circumstances, about what your fit is, and if in fact the program's going to be right for you, because it's not right for everyone, and we don't want to set people up to fail. We want to set people up to succeed.
Yeah, that's right. And so you run the program in conjunction with Sheena Wilson, our chair.
Well, we do. Sheena and I are the lead facilitators, but there are other mentors around it. And we've also got Mariette Rups-Donnelly, who is a brilliant person who assists you to, once you've understood who you are, how do you take that next step and articulate it well? Because just knowing who you are on a piece of paper and in yourself is fine, but you have to be able to tell others, because if you can't tell others, back to what I said before, they can't help you to succeed.
Yeah, and Mariette's got a really interesting background. She's done a lot of acting coaching and voice coaching and presentation coaching, and I've seen lots of the sessions that she's run before, and they're really interactive, and they're fantastic in building confidence, and they always are a big highlight of each of the sessions that we run, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you want to know about Red Cloak, you've got to come along.
Yes. All right. So that's fantastic, Claire. Anything else you think we need to explain to people who may be thinking about it?
We have a scholarship, so
Oh,
really
fantastic.
important. We've
Yeah.
got a scholarship for a First Nations or a culturally diverse person who identifies as culturally diverse, and that's a full scholarship. It doesn't include travel, but it does include all of the components of the program. Now, the applications for that close in March, so do jump onto the website and have a look, womenonboards.net, and we'd be really delighted to receive applications. We also provide what I call the rural and remote discount. I come from rural Australia, and I know that accessing some of these programs can be particularly difficult, particularly if you have to have large costs when it comes to flying places. You might be out on farms. So don't rule yourself out
Yes.
because you're not capital city based, because a WOB is about equity. And so we try to make everything accessible to everyone. So please don't rule yourself out if you're from a rural and a remote area, because I have to tell you, we're bound to get into a great conversation, and we'll certainly know people in common, because that's the way rural Australia works.
Yes,
Thanks,
we're
Nicole.
geographically inclusive. And there is also mentoring, isn't there, as part of this program?
Absolutely. There's a 1 hour mentoring session. We've got
Yep.
3 mentors on the program, and that's absolutely fabulous. So that's something that you then get some personal attention from the program too. So so that's the program. Take a look at it, and do put your comments in. I'm sure that's how LinkedIn Live works. I think you can put out there, and we can have people put some comments in around what their career experiences are, and in fact how you approach your careers as well.
That's right. Thank you very much. If anybody does have any inquiries, please pop onto our website. You can, it's womenonboards.net, as Claire said. You can send us an email. You can also book a one-on-one time with Claire to talk about it further, so you can actually talk about it in the context of your career. And as Claire said, she will tell you whether it's right for you, because we really do want to set people up for success. The other thing that is a really important part of the program is actually the cohort and the alliances and the connections that you make. So we do everything that we can to help facilitate that for you. We've just developed a fantastic WOB community online platform, and we're actually doing some further developments with that soon to help our members connect, so you can have a special group where you can communicate with one another. There's a dinner in Melbourne to get to know them. So we find that that's really a really good part of the program as well, that you align yourself with like-minded women to help you on your journey, and that support is really, really important to help you post-program. And we're also here to help you post-program as well. We see our relationship with our members and our participants as long-term, so we're always here to help you afterwards as well. So anything else to add there, Claire?
No, we are indeed. Thanks for listening, for those of you that are out there, and we'll get better next time.
We will. They're our first one, so hopefully we didn't do too badly. We welcome your feedback, and we will see you again soon.